Have you ever wanted to create your own handicapping dream team? You can now build your own superstar handicapping lineup using our Pick Your Team program at both wagertalk.com and sportsmemo.com. Even more exciting, until Sunday, January 16th at midnight, you can save 15% off your Pick Your Team using coupon code PYT15 when checking out. Dave Koken, Marco D'Angelo, and Ralph Michaels, John Ryan, Joseph D'Amico, and Rocketman. The combinations are endless, and you can choose up to 5 handicappers. You start saving once you choose any 2 handicappers of your choice, and you can pay as little as under $6 per handicapper. Who will make your dream lineup? Just go to Wager Talk or Sports Memo, click Pick Your Team, and personally hand select your handicapping roster. Don't forget, coupon code PYT15 will expire January 16th, so make sure to get your 15% discount.
Welcome, everyone. This is the NFL Week 18 edition of the Predictive Playbook show presented by Sportsmemo TV. And, of course, I have you more than covered again this week with my co-hosts Buster and Rocky. Gentlemen, the last 5 shows, last 5 weeks, we are 12, 4, and 2 against the number for 75%. And you know what? That's better than Rocky's season record at sportsmemo.com, which is 73%. I believe that's the highest he's been all season. So talk about staying hot and then get even hotter. But, you know, I have to say, Buster, our record of 75% would be even better if Rocky hadn't gone 0-2 the last 2 weeks on the show.
Yeah, you know what, John? That's a little crazy. He puts out all, but rightfully so. He puts out all his great plays for his clients, and then he comes on here and gives us one of his worst plays. So, what are you gonna do? It's that's just the way things go. Maybe you can step up with the team this week. Hey, Rocky, what do you think?
Definitely gonna try.
Hey, we know Rocky will give it the all-American effort, that's for sure. And he's 0-2. I certainly wouldn't fade him this week. I wouldn't fade him any week.
Definitely not.
He's due. And he'll be number 2 in our rotation. But let's get started with the Pittsburgh-Baltimore game. This is a matchup that Buster's going to break down. Steelers are 8-7-1. And the last game with Roethlisberger waving goodbye to the fans is kind of heartbreaking because that guy's been a big part of the NFL for so many seasons. And I almost hope he doesn't retire. I almost hope they make it to the AFC Championship game, which they may actually play at home. That would be a pretty cool way to go out. But they're a team I think is just going to barely get into the playoffs. Baltimore, pretty much the same story. 8-8 straight up, 8-8 against the spread. Buster, where do you see the opportunity in this game?
Yeah, John, both Baltimore and Pittsburgh are going to have a little trouble. If whoever wins this game obviously has a slight chance, and I wouldn't even say it's a slight chance. They need Indianapolis to lose for whoever wins this game to have a chance to get in. I believe if Indianapolis happens to lose, they play Jacksonville, then Pittsburgh will be able to get in with a win. But I think Baltimore even needs more help if Baltimore beats Pittsburgh here. But for us in this one, we're going to go back with the Steelers. Steelers getting 5.5 here. Like I say, both teams need this game. So they're going to play. That's a big thing of this weekend. Just a caution to everybody. We do these videos on Wednesday, but just make sure when you're looking at the week on who's going to be playing, who's not. A lot of teams, might be setting guys last minute. So just check. But this is a game that I picked because really like Pittsburgh in this spot. I think they're just getting way too many points with 5.5. Pittsburgh has won the last 3 games between these clubs. Also, Pittsburgh won that last game when Baltimore decided to go for a 2-point conversion, which they didn't get. And actually, Baltimore did that a couple times this year instead of going to overtime for the win. And I wonder if Harbaugh sometimes maybe second guess himself. Now they're sitting here on the outside looking into the playoffs. Even in that last game, these teams are very matched when they play each other. It always seems to be like a last possession game. And actually, even the yards in that last game, it was Baltimore out yard them 326 to 321. You don't get much closer than that. And I think Pittsburgh's going to want this more, even though because they both know the chances of Indy losing are probably – they might need a small miracle. But I think Pittsburgh wants it more because it's going to be Big Ben's probably last game. So you're going to see, I like Tomlin, these kind of situations too. And I just think it's way too many points. And Pittsburgh getting 5.5 with a team that can win the game outright. Always like that. And of course, John, for you, always have to have some trends. The underdog here is 21-7-3 against the spread in the last 31 matchups between these two teams. And the road team is actually 7-3 against the spread. So give us Pittsburgh here, plus the 5.5, and maybe Big Ben gets lucky and they get into the playoffs here.
I hope they do. They're a sentimental favorite of mine for sure, and I have all the respect in the world for Tomlin. You know, when you see the players that he had in that were problem situations, we just saw it in Tampa Bay, you realize how great a coach he was because none of that ever left the locker room and made it into the media while those players were at Pittsburgh. So they deserve it. I hope, nothing against Baltimore, but I hope they get in and send Ben off in a pretty good way. That'd be pretty cool. Anyway, let's move on to my play here, which is the Dallas Cowboys in the city of brotherly love, and this is usually a monster rivalry with the media in Philly, getting people into a frenzy with all the T-shirts being worn, and it says Dallas is not a good team. I can't really say what it says on the T-shirts, but it's interesting to say the least. But this is the first time, guys, that the Cowboys have played an NFC East opponent when both teams had a winning record since the 2017 finale, and that game was also at Philadelphia. And that game was meaningless in hindsight. They were eliminated in the playoffs, and then the Eagles had already secured a first-round bye on their way to winning that Super Bowl with Nick Foles. Dallas hasn't played a division opponent with a winning record since November of 2018, and that was against the Washington Iron Condors. And isn't it great that they're going to announce their new mascot on February 2nd as being the Iron Condors? They finally listened to me, guys. But seriously, I don't know what it's going to be, but it's not going to be the Iron Condors. The Cowboys still could be as high as the second seed, but would need a win combined with losses by the reigning Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Bucks and the Los Angeles Rams, who are taking on the San Francisco 49ers in a hugely important game out west. And there's also a path for the number 3 seed for Dallas. So I think in reading the Dallas Morning News, McCarthy has stated 2 days in a row now that the starters are going to play, that they need to get in some sort of consistent rhythm offensively. And that's good enough for me because I don't think the Eagles are going to play many of their starters. First of all, they don't have the depth that Dallas has, and they can ill afford any more injuries on the offense. One thing I was looking at here, guys, in the stats, Dallas, despite the inconsistency on offense, and this is really scary for teams that have to face them in the playoffs, especially in Dallas, number 1 in scoring, 29.94 points per game, basically 30. They're number 7 defensively, allowing 20.8. And that wide a differential, those types of teams going to the playoffs usually make deep runs. So if you're thinking about a futures bet with Dallas to make it to the NFC Championship or possibly win it, I think now is going to be the opportunity to get the best value for that type of bet. In terms of trends here, Eagles are 0-3 their last 4 games as a home favorite. They will not be a home favorite in this game, but just for future reference. And when playing on Saturday, the Cowboys actually are 0-3-1. But who cares if they're playing on Saturday? It's meaningless, and that's a type of trend is not to be paid attention to. Don't even give it the time of day in the NFL when it has to do with whether you play on Saturday or Sunday. Thursdays and Mondays, yes, absolutely, because that's prime time, and Sunday night prime time games. Those can be lumped together, and you get some real meaningful stuff out of that. But overall, guys, I am on Dallas here. I think they're a vastly better team. Eagles are going to be the 6th seed pretty much no matter what happens, and they have more reason to rest starters and play the backups certainly than Dallas does. So I admire McCarthy not playing, not throwing in the towel and saying, okay, we'll be happy with the 4 seed. and wanting to play the starters and play well. So I think this line will only go up, and currently it's 7.5. I'm on the Dallas Cowboys minus the points this Saturday night. So now we're on to our king, Mr. 0-2. See, if we didn't tease him, Buster, he wouldn't, he wouldn't know how much we really love him as a guy. You bust guys that you like. You would never do this if you didn't like him.
I'll tell you, John, I'll take 73% and you can bust me all day long.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I mean, that's the ultimate Teflon, right? Any disparaging remarks by anybody, you just kind of go, oh, all right, 73%. I think we ought to make him a t-shirt and he can wear it next week on the show. But we can talk about that after the show's over. But Rocky is going to talk about the Tennessee Titans here. And in a really strange or unusual twist of luck and good fortune for them, they ended up last Sunday afternoon the number 1 seed in the AFC. So it's been a wild time in the NFL, but especially that AFC conference has been all over the place. I believe there's been 6 different teams in the number 1 seed over the last 8 weeks. So we have Tennessee still number 1. They need a win to secure that number 1 and the bye, which is hugely important in the playoffs. They are 11-5, 10-6 against the spread. Houston, I think they might even bring the golf clubs onto the field. I mean, the season's been over forever. I don't know what kind of motivation they even have playing at home at NRG Stadium. So take it away, Rocky, and tell us where the best bet opportunity is in this matchup.
Thank you, John. Hopefully I come with a winner here this week. I am 0-2 the past 2 weeks here on the show, but I did go 3-0 this past week for my clients and pushing me to 73% this year. So excited about that. Excited about the final week, and hopefully we can cash here for you on the show as well as my premium clients this weekend. Tennessee, they come in having clinched a playoff spot already, and they've clinched their division. They are tied with Kansas City for the best record in the AFC. Tennessee can clinch home field advantage through the playoffs with a win here over Houston on Sunday, so they should be coming ready to play. Houston, on the other hand, has been eliminated from the playoffs, like you said, for quite some time now. So probably a little motivation on that side, except possibly trying to upset Tennessee's number 1 seed, maybe. But anyway, we have Tennessee coming in with the number 3 rushing offense in the league, averaging 142.5 yards per game on the ground. Derrick Henry is supposed to return to practice today, so we'll see how that goes. They're going up against the worst 32nd ranked rush defense in the league in Houston, as they allow 143.4 rushing yards per game on the season. On the flip side of the ball, Houston has the worst rushing offense in the league, averaging only 84.9 yards per game on the ground, and they're going up against the number 2 rush defense in the league. Tennessee allows only 85.9 yards per game rushing this year. Houston also has the worst ranked offense in the entire league, averaging only 273.4 total yards per game this season. And the Tennessee defense is also ranked number 6 in points allowed this year, while Houston has the 30th ranked offense in points scored, scoring only 15.9 points per game this season. Just a big mismatch here. A few trends for this game. Tennessee's 4-0 against the spread their last 4 games after scoring 30 points or more in their previous game. Tennessee is 4-1 against the spread last 5 games against the AFC South. Tennessee's 5-2 against the spread last 7 games after an against the spread win. Houston is 6-14 against the spread the last 20 games after rushing for less than 90 yards in their previous game. Keep in mind, they average only 84.9 yards per game rushing, and they're going up against a very solid Tennessee rush defense. And Houston is 1-4 against the spread last 5 games after a straight-up loss of more than 14 points. Not a huge edge here with my Rocket Man power rating line, but I do have Tennessee to win by 13 points in this one, giving us a little bit of value here on the road favorite. So we're going to play Tennessee minus the points on Sunday.
What a great breakdown, Rocky. You can see, folks, why he's hitting 73% just by listening to how he broke down the games. And Buster's breakdown was equally as good. I think I was the one today that needed to improve for next week's playoff show that will air on Wednesday. But we have 3 best bets, and they are the Dallas Cowboys was mine. Buster is on Pittsburgh Steelers plus the points, and Rocky is on the Tennessee Titans. And I'll call that game Tennessee, no matter what the spread is. Minus, I'll take him at minus 14.5 right now, and be happy about it. I agree 100% with that play. And if I had to pick a best bet among the 3, Tennessee would be it. So thanks for watching, everyone. And take a moment to subscribe and comment below, and all 3 of us will do our best to answer any questions you have and give us some things to think about too. We learn from each other, and that's what makes these shows so much fun to do and so enjoyable. Next up on the Sportsmemo TV channel is the NCAA Basketball Triple-Double Show with my boys Rocky and Buster, which we're going to record right after this one is done. And the NBA Triple-Double Show later today with my co-host Ronald Kabang. And we've earned a 30-11 against the spread record for 73% winners. Not quite as good as this show, but 73%. And that's over the last 14 shows. So have yourself a great rest of the week. Look forward to seeing you again next Wednesday with another edition of the NFL Predictive Playbook and powered by Sportsmemo TV. So until then, bet with your heads, not over it. And may all the wins be yours.
Have you ever wanted to create your own handicapping dream team? You can now build your own superstar handicapping lineup using our Pick Your Team program at both wagertalk.com and sportsmemo.com. Even more exciting, until Sunday, January 16th at midnight, you can save 15% off your Pick Your Team using coupon code PYT15 when checking out. Dave Koken, Marco D'Angelo, and Ralph Michaels, John Ryan, Joseph D'Amico, and Rocket Man. The combinations are endless, and you can choose up to 5 handicappers. You start saving once you choose any 2 handicappers of your choice, and you can pay as little as under $6 per handicapper. Who will make your dream lineup? Just go to Wager Talk or Sportsmemo, click Pick Your Team, and personally hand select your handicapping roster. Don't forget coupon code PYT15 will expire January 16th, so make sure to get your 15% discount.